Welcome to the Blick Summer Series of workshops at the National Art Education Association headquarters here in Alexandria, Virginia. Hi, I'm Whitney, and I'm going to show you what a glue relief plaster print is and how to make one. Then you get to watch the teachers demonstrate the project. Using plaster in printmaking has been around for quite a while, though it is a lesser known method. Traditionally, oil paint would be used to make an image. The oil would repel the plaster, making a very low relief, akin to lithography. While using oil paints in the classroom isn't always an option, and certainly not for younger age groups, we have adapted this method using tacky glue. Good old Aleene's tacky glue. This is where starting with a fairly simple image or composition is going to work best. And because this is essentially a double transfer, first the glue onto the plaster, and then onto the printing plate to be printed, you don't have to reverse text or change lettering. To start with, I'm using Durlar Graphics matte film. The fact that it is essentially a plastic paper allows the plaster to release easily, and it's thick enough to maintain a box-shaped mold while the plaster sets. To start, I like to fold my edges in about 1 inch to 1/2 inch. And this is going to be the side of your mold box. I like to start here because then when transferring your drawing, you know exactly what your margins are. And because the film is semi-transparent, you can place your drawing directly underneath and trace it. Now you can go in directly with glue, and it's really best to use thick lines here, as thin lines just don't transfer as well into the plaster. Once you have your whole image traced and it's dry, you are ready to cut and make your mold box. To do that, I simply cut in along one fold line until it meets the other. And I do this all the way around the box. You do want to make sure to tape all the way around your edges here, the openings. Don't want your plaster leaking out all over your table after you spent all that time making your image. And I'm ready to begin mixing my plaster. I like to mix it on the heavy side, more like a really thick brownie batter. Always be careful pouring your plaster. You never want to dump it. For a box this size, about 5 by 7, 1/2 inch rise, I want to mix 8 ounces of plaster and 1/2 as much water. Pour the water to the sides of your cup or bowl to avoid making more plaster clouds. Pour it in the mold. Make sure you get all your corners. Use your stick to really scrape it in there. And I'm going to use burlap to cover the bottom. And this will give it more durability when printing. And if you do happen to crack your block, it helps keep it together at least. Make sure you sort of tap it down to really get in the bottom. You take your tape corners off and give it a little tap. Don't worry if a little bit gets in the grooves or the cracks here. It will shrink down as it dries. It won't affect your print. But if it does bother you, you can always pick it out with your finger or even the end of a pencil. To print, roll your ink out just as you would normally. That looks good. Now to print, I simply press down, peel off. You can print a number of times with this block. For cleanup, I suggest printing a ghost print on a blank sheet of paper or some newsprint, but I actually really like the ghost prints sometimes. They have more nuance and variety. Sometimes they come out a little more pleasing than the perfect original print there. But you can change colors and make a number of prints with the same block. Yeah. And when you press, you'll be ready whenever you're done smoothing it, you'll be ready to press your burlap right in.
Plaster is the best in the classroom because kids get it all over their clothes and they're like, this is right.
Just pat it off.
Yep.
Being a part of this organization and being able to experience what it is to be an art educator with other art educators around the world. At the convention, the hands-on approach, knowing that I know where you're coming from. This is our struggle. So that's what's most exciting about being a part of this.
Well, we certainly enjoyed making our glue relief plaster prints. If you're interested in making your own, visit dickblick.com. We have all of the supplies you need, as well as a full PDF lesson plan with national standards.